Hello,
Hello, JT.
Benny. Hello,
What do you
sir.
say,
You're live
JT?
from Miami.
Live from my hot Miami, man. It's what a town, huh? I like the thumbnail you got there up there with that the skyline, the Miami skyline. But I'm nice and comfortable now, back in the airport, waiting to catch my flight back home. But we just had to come and give an update, man. This Safe Pro Innovation Day was it was pretty sporty, I gotta say. Uh, First one they've ever done. I learned something. I didn't know Safe Pro just went public 2 years ago. I just learned that yesterday. When they rung the bell, Nasdaq. But
I feel like it's
but
been so much
anyway,
longer. I mean, we've been
I
covering them
know,
for over a year now, so we were in there
right?
very very early. And yeah,
Hmm.
they rang the the opening bell, huh? Yesterday.
Right,
Not
right.
many hundred
And
million
then
dollar market caps are doing that.
right, right, and they actually there's so much going on. Dan Erdberg, the CEO, was telling us that the lady at the Nasdaq wants them back. They want to come bring them back to ring the bell. They realized how much SafePro really has going on around the world. It's pretty exciting stuff. The This was their very first innovation day. Um, kind of a technology demo to investors. We got invited special to come down. We were the only retail investors in the room, man. I mean, we're talking, there were, institutions upon institutions upon institutions
Oh yeah.
there. Some of them have been invested in Safe Pro since before they went public. Others are obviously covering them, and they sent their analysts down. But yeah, Zero Hour Group had a front row seat, sir, right up front.
And that's the only, I mean, Zero Hour Group's the only company in the world right now, at least in the US, that I know of, that's actually at these events that isn't, an official institution or some sort of like financial advisors. We're the only retail group that is in any of these rooms, small caps, large caps. I haven't heard of, maybe there's like some guys in the Tesla room, but none of them are kind of running their own show like this. So one of
Yeah,
one is
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool, and we're those retail investors that are in the room for the retail investors watching. So.
yeah,
We have a stake. We have a reason to want these companies to succeed, and so do a lot of other people that are invested in it. So I'm happy that we can actually get that information, get into these rooms, and man, I just want to hear about it. Like, so you landed, you went in there, you saw the hotel it was at. What were your thoughts? What did you see?
oh, sporty joint, man. I mean, that what was it, Turnberry Island or Turnberry Isle Resort, first class. It was really impressive. Large, and they got a golf course there, but just a really, I tell you how important or special the conference rooms were. They've got a FedEx office print shop inside the conference center.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people staying in the hotel need to get, paraphernalia printed, but I imagine it's pretty handy when you're running conferences out of there to print up materials, posters, things like that for whatever's going on, in the various rooms. Very large place, very nice, beautiful, very beautiful. But, aside from that, this was their first innovation day, JT, and they're not even giving forward guidance yet. Only been public for a couple of years now. Still around $5 a share, right? We got in, like you said, we've been covering them for over right at a year now, maybe a little bit more. Um, and I guess they're up. We're up about 100% now on this little stock. But it's really, in my view, a diamond in the rough, right? I mean, a lot of people are overlooking this company. They
Oh
just
yeah.
think it's another AI software play, right? But the things that they are working on, aside from just being um, high margin, 75% margins, what the CEO was talking about today, uh, but they're doing really, really important work. This AI software, our friend Eric Brock over at Ondas, he texted
Hmm.
me not long ago, said that something to the effect, yep, yeah, yep, he said, Dan's software works pretty well. Um, and from what I saw today, yeah, you can take Eric's word to the bank on that. It's really important work too. This software, it's AI. Met a young guy, their chief scientist. um, really sharp, writing the algorithms. But let me back up just a minute. These guys are
Sure.
are doing this software is threat detection, right? Small threat detection. People even think that they know everything that they're doing because they're into the demining, right? They're working with 4M and one of Ondas companies, demining areas in Israel and other places. Um, it's basically battlefield contamination that they think they're set up for, but there's
Yeah.
really a lot more to it than that. Um, this threat detection software, they had actually had an active duty military guy that was there on loan from special forces to help them do this demonstration. SafePro Group has got some
Really?
customers in the Army. Yep, the Army has really got they've got the Army's attention because of how well this stuff works. In fact, it was the Army that asked them to turn it from they're using computer vision, right? Just and I asked one of the C-suite guys exactly why they were going with the computer vision, just the optical sensors, and why not using radar and LiDAR and these fancy things? The answer was pretty simple. The cameras are ubiquitous, they're everywhere, and they're cheap.
Hmm.
So the idea is that they are taking pictures, millions upon millions of pictures, running them through this AI software to pick out unexploded ordnance, mines, anti-personnel, anti-equipment mines, kind that are designed to kill tanks or just maim or a soldier, right? It's kind of gruesome, but if you kill a soldier, then he's dead. But if you hurt one, blow his leg off, it takes two other soldiers to get him off the battlefield and take care of him. So you basically, have taken three people out of the fight. Not only that, what's really dangerous, what's going on is a soldier steps on a mine, two more come to help him, and that's when the double tap happens. The drone comes in to take out three of them all at once, right?
It's horrible.
With a hand grenade. It is horrible stuff. So that's what's so important about this threat detection. Is being able to identify unexploded ordnance, to be able to identify mines, improvised explosive devices wherever they might be left. Is they're actually getting so good at it, or this AI stuff is getting good at it, it can pick out like gun barrels. The soldier that was doing part of the demonstration talked about an instance where they do these war games, right, where they're one side's pitted against the other. They use this AI software to notice a soldier's boot from outside the camouflage. That's all they could see was his boot, but that was enough to alert the one team, the offensive team, or whatever, in the war game exercise, that hey, there's an
Hmm.
ambush up ahead of you, right? So they were able to mitigate that in the war game. So there's a really important function that this threat detection software is playing. Mines, they don't just hurt or maim during the war, but when the war is over, they can be left for decades and be a danger to kids, farmers, civilians, just going about their daily business. So
It's a
it's
huge
pretty
problem.
important work they're doing. Yep,
Just
it
for
really
civil
is.
infrastructure, yeah, if you're going to back to repopulate an area, I mean, you can't, right? Because there's so many mines everywhere that just becomes a huge problem, or at least a huge risk, even if you go do it. So demining is extremely important. And I liked how earlier you said the company might be a diamond in the rough, and I was kind of thinking,
Oh
you
yeah.
said that we had a little conversation earlier about maybe it could find some uses with some rare earth materials, right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit, and how I guess
Well,
that's
that was
another secret market?
Yeah, let me turn to my notes here because that really got my attention. This came up in the question and answer portion of the presentation, and Dan Erberg was asked a question, um, but somehow this thing came up that there's actually a connection between SafePro Group and the critical rare earth minerals, and a lot of people, in fact myself included, was a little bit confused with that. I was like, what? I hadn't heard about this. But if you recall, about a year or so ago, the United States Secretary Bessent made a deal with the Ukrainians, and basically America's got dibs on half of the rare earth minerals that are readily available in Ukraine, right? Ukraine's got one of the best deposits of these things. They're actually not really rare; they're everywhere. But if you've seen anything about Ukraine, it's a lot of flat, open spaces. So if they've got a high concentration of these critical minerals, they're easy to get to, except for all the mines, right?
Yeah.
So once Ukraine can either move Russia out further away, and they can get access to those, or they can end the war at some point, none of those critical rare earth minerals are going to be able to be mined and processed into the different things that we need in the West, um, until the mines are removed and the threats are taken care of. So
Sure.
that connection there between Safe Pro Group and the critical rare earths was pretty interesting to me. Obviously, the rare earth minerals are going to be a huge uh, uh, market, right? They're worth a whole lot of money, but you can't get to them until you get rid of the threats first, So you're not going to go dig around until the mines are taken care of, and that's what Safe Pro Group is built to do. Um, you know,
Interesting.
probably the biggest thing that I was impressed with, though, JT, is the leadership, right? Dan Erdberg comes across as very authentic. We like to get in front of CEOs and look them in the eye and
Yeah.
make a judgment not only on their skills as a CEO, but on who they are as people and individuals. And leadership is as leadership does, right? He has surrounded himself with some pretty sharp guys, former military, you know, uh, retired colonels,
Uh huh.
you know, that have the experience both around the world, and the things that they have come across and the connections that they made, but also experience in the acquisition avenues in the Pentagon, right? It's pretty complicated when you think about how you actually take something to the Pentagon and sell it to the United States government for use across militaries. And you need those people with the experience that were in the military, and part of the military's acquisition apparatus, so to speak, right? So he's brought on some people that are very experienced in that way, ready to take this fine product to market. Um, we cover some other companies in this space that have been involved in Ukraine, and Safe Pro Group has probably got the most experience in Ukraine of anyone that we've covered to date. They were there at the beginning. Um, they've got like millions of pictures taken by drones of the
Yep.
battlefield, of the
Hmm.
battle space, and that's the raw data that the AI programs can rifle through, search through, and identify the threats, and they can do it in like really quickly, which is quick enough for commanders to make decisions, and whether it be on an offensive way to actually breach minefields or other obstacles, you got to know where they are, and you got to know where the density is of them. This is what was explained today on that demonstration. Uh, this software can not only show you where they are, but help you map the right path, the path of least resistance through these types of obstacles on the battlefield, and to be able to do that in real time, like within minutes.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about the outside demonstration that they did. They took us out to an open field where
Just
they
before
had
we get into that,
scattered.
I just want to kind
Yeah,
of break
yeah,
this down, I guess, for everyone
yeah,
watching,
man.
because
I
there's
can.
so much good information. No, it's just, I mean, first off, I mean, what you had just mentioned, it sounds like it's very kind of preventative, right? It's very proactive instead of
Mhm.
reactive, where there's a threat, instead
Right.
of falling into the threat, having to deal with the fallout, like you mentioned with the mines and someone getting hurt and then requiring more people to get in. You just completely get to jump over that and not have to deal with it, right? So that creates a whole
Yeah.
host of solutions. Also, I mean, there's so many use cases with this, right? In terms of civil infrastructure, the army, preventative natures there. That also, I bet there's a bunch of use cases here, that we don't even know about yet, like in the U.S. or like for farming. You said for rare earth gathering. I mean, we know demining in itself is like a $10 billion international business, and SPAI, SafePro Group, is only about $100 million market cap company that's already buying back shares, has high revenue, or not high revenue, excuse me, has high margins, but they are growing revenue. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was over 1,000% growth year over year. And
1,400%.
not really yeah, exactly, and not really any need for to dilute, just due to it being a software nature. It's not like they need a lot of parts or something and they need like a bunch of dilutive capital. So I mean, this thing could get really, really big without that tailwind of expecting dilution if it runs extremely hard. So I find that very interesting, very intriguing, and I think that's something that the retail investors watching should take away from this. Is we're in the early steps here, but this isn't just a normal small cap where you have to have a ton of growth capital. It's software, it's high margin. They're buying back shares. That never happens with these small caps. That's all
Right.
extremely. That's very, very extremely bullish to me, just from an analyst point of
Well,
view.
yeah, exactly. You got your finger on it, man. You know, the analysts were asked him today a little bit about the cash burn. I apologize for my light; it's not wanting to stay on here, so
Looks good.
I'm a little bit in the dark. But all right, but you know, they look back on the cash burn, right? I put that in quotes. Um, and his response was, "Yeah, I was buying back shares the first 2 quarters. You know, bought back a bunch of shares. All right. So when you look at that use for the cash, and then there's another aspect of that. When you look at that use for the cash, it's not like he's paying light bills, right, or paying rent with that money, just trying to stay in business, right? He's looking out for shareholders. You know, when a CEO starts buying shares back, right, that's shareholder friendly, right? And it doesn't
Oh
make
my
sense
God, yeah.
that he's buying shares back just to turn around and offer them on the market and dilute, right? The other
Especially for
flip
early
side of that is,
shareholders, you got to love that. This isn't even known about.
yeah,
This company is very kind of underrated, under the radar in terms of the general market. So if you're already in that early and they're already buying back shares, that's something you do later once you have tons of profit. They're doing that now. That's extremely exciting for like early shareholders. So you're
yeah,
getting me excited
yeah,
on this call right here as a Safe Pro Group shareholder.
man. And it's not only that, but he's got the cash for several years. He said, we got years worth of runway right now. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no dilution in the, like I said last week when they finished up the share buyback deal. It just doesn't make sense to buy back shares, just turn around and sell them again, right? Um, that's not in the cards, I don't think. Um, but you know, the you just brought up something too that I'm most excited about. You know, we need the best technology for the soldiers. You know, this kind of technology here is saving lives, right? It's very useful in the business end of what the military has to do when there's a conflict. But this threat detection, this AI, um, artificial intelligence algorithms that they are uh, cultivating here with all of the data. And let me go back for just a second too. They've been in
Mhm.
Ukraine since they were really, since the beginning, and they've earned the right to this data that comes out of Ukraine, right? So Ukraine is taking pictures all over the country. And this goes back to what I was talking about with why they're using the optical cameras, right? They got cameras are everywhere. They're ubiquitous. So, you know, and they're not expensive. Uh, they just need the data. They need the photos to feed into the algorithms to identify the threats. And they've been in Ukraine from the beginning, been in the mud with them, right? Been in the trenches, literally, helping them to identify these threats and mitigate them. That earns them the right from Ukraine to these kinds of this data, right? That no one else has. No, they can try to get it, but Ukraine's not giving it up to anybody, and they're not selling it. You know, they're giving it to their partners, the people who have sweated and bled and gotten dirty and wet and cold with them, right, in their struggle against Russia. And that means a lot. That says a lot for the kind of people that are on this Safe Pro team, right? There's a lot more going on with it. I'm really excited about the dual use nature. Um, you know, I come from a construction background. We were riding back from the outside demo, and we're here in Miami. You know, I don't know people might not be aware, but there's some buildings down here that got some problems, right? Some tough, some maybe some shoddy construction techniques from back in the day. These high-rise apartments, some of them are getting condemned because of the spalling of the concrete. Well, they can use this software to do these inspections up and down buildings. They've got another part of the company, first responders. Chris Todd is CEO of that company. He's one of the three companies in the SafePro group. They already work a lot with insurance companies here in Florida, with the largest utility company down here. There was another customer he told me about. It's escaping me right now. I'll be able to find it in the notes. And there's a lot more coming, folks, with the material and the footage that we got here. But yeah, this is a bright future for SafePro Group here in Florida and overseas. You know, there's
Yeah.
like 60 or maybe they said 80 countries in the world that need demining. Right.
Oh, business is huge. I mean, the use
Yeah.
case is massive with that, and their market cap. I mean, it's like 1/1000th, I believe, of the entire demining scope or TAM for that. So going into that, I want to hear about the demo today. Kind of what did you see with these live drone demos? I know we actually have some video content to kind of show off how these things work that will play after, but I want to hear about like what you saw, the drones, kind of what the tech demo looked like and what you saw. And I know we'll get some footage of that and whatnot coming out later.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Dan must have some pull. JT, we had a police escort take us from the Turnberry Resort over to Florida International University. They had a big field out in the back, right on the water where they had set up. They had a tent set up. They had some big screen TVs that were hooked up to the monitors, and they took a drone. The soldier got to remain unnamed because he's still active duty,
For
but he's
sure.
very familiar with this technology, and he's used it. Uh, he gets the drone to fly off. You know, he basically cranks it up, and it took off. But then it was autonomously, it by itself, it flew a grid pattern over this field, and I'm saying it's probably a 6-7 acre field, scattered objects on the field. They had some, um, ubiquitous, just harmless objects, coconuts and things that might look like, they didn't belong, but they're not an actual threat. Then they had not real mines, but mines that didn't have the explosives in them, laid out. I took a walk through the field, and it was really tough to see these things, right? It doesn't take much to go over it, and your eye's not used to picking it up, through the vegetation. That's another key part is this
That's key. And
software
you're not
can
looking for them,
see
right? You're
down
not
through
looking for that
You're not
stuff. You're looking for enemy
right.
combatants, maybe drones, vehicles. You're not looking for the little things on the ground and minor things like that. So exactly like you
Yeah,
said, that is so
Security
important.
advisory.
Oh, you good
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Security
For
advisory.
your safety, please do not leave baggage
Huh?
unattended.
Someone left a
Oh.
package
Unattended
unattended.
baggage will be
Not me.
removed and
I was like,
Not
what's
me.
going on
I
there?
got all my
Get
stuff.
Safe Pro group out there. What's going on?
Personal property.
This is truly a
Yeah,
live interview
yeah,
Carry-on
right from the
baggage
spot.
and
yeah.
baggage.
Right in the airport. Yeah, we had to bring this to you right away, guys, because I guess I got a couple-hour flight, maybe not that much, but by the time I get back home and get unloaded and get back to the house, I'm gonna be done. This is kind of a whirlwind trip. Flew down here
Yeah.
Sunday night and had a chance to look around a little bit yesterday, waiting on this thing, but there's not a daily one-way freight, so I had to come a day before. But anyway,
I
yeah.
mean, the goal for
So
us is to get
this,
the news ASAP too. I mean, we want to get to you guys as
yeah,
fast as we can. If we just have this demo, all these
Your
institutions know
safety
what
is
happened. We
our
want to make sure you
business.
guys know what happened
Please
right
help
away.
us help
We got to
you.
have the
yeah.
If
same
you see
playing field as
something,
them. That's
say
our goal.
something.
Well, I
Report
promise you,
suspicious
none of those
activity
analysts
to
that
the
were there
nearest
right
law
now have
enforcement
reported back this
officer,
quick.
TSA officer.
Yeah,
We're
they're
the
down here in
first.
Florida. They're gonna be flying back to New York tomorrow. And then they got to get in the office and they got to go over their notes and write up their reports. And then all of that is going to the that's closed information, right? That's not coming out in the public. You got to pay for that. You don't
Yep.
pay for anything here at Zero Hour Group. So, but hey,
Unless
so
you want
this
to pay for
drone
some merch
flew.
eventually. We'll have to
Right,
get
right.
that 0 hour
That's
group
on the
hats.
way.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that? Hey,
I
can
saw
you see
that. You got
that
a
one?
little.
Yeah,
I
there's
see. I
another one
saw
in
the
the
logo.
collection.
I love their
Yeah,
logo. Safe Pro Group, man.
yeah.
Exciting.
Yep. So got another one
Absolutely
in
exciting.
the collection. But this drone flew a predetermined grid or by itself. I'm not sure predetermined is the right word, but by itself it flew a grid over this field. And within, they actually started a timer. I don't recall exactly how long it took, but I'd say 6-8 minutes. By the time that drone came back, they took the SD card. And I had a question about that had a pretty interesting answer. They plugged it into the laptop, and if you look back, they sold 5 laptops a couple of weeks ago to the State Department for like 180 grand.
It's
You know,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, it's a souped-up laptop. It's not your average. You're not going to go buy one at Best Buy, right? It's in a hard case, robust, but it's built to their specifications. But I guess that thing worked out to $40,000 a piece, something like that. But what the State Department was paying for was 3 years worth of license for the AI software that was on those laptops. And this was an example of the State Department being able to utilize the United States soft power in helping friends around the world demine areas that need to be demined. But they take the SD card out of that drone, plug it in. 6 or 8 minutes later, that field is mapped with a bunch of red circles that showed what was a click on a ordnance, a mine, something dangerous. Some yellow circles that looked like something that might be dangerous or whatnot. But it would enable in real time, right, at the field commander level, right? Didn't have to go all the way back to the headquarters, where the colonels and the generals are hanging out. But, a lieutenant or a captain in charge of a certain area, given a task to move his soldiers into a position, can throw a drone up, map out the best way to get there, the safest way to get there, where the threats are, bring in the mitigation, the engineers that need to be there to remove the threats in that combat situation, and take the objective, whatever that objective is, without waiting on like satellite pictures and things from other
Oh yeah.
assets that would take time, hours if not days to get that information back. They could get it in real time within just a few minutes of throwing that drone up.
And I got an interesting
You
thing to
know,
add up for you on that. You mentioned like the
yeah,
satellite, the ISR. Over on Substack, Mr. Art Ambien over there was saying, I believe Worldview and SPAI will need to collaborate hardcore eventually. And that's a great idea. I bet there's going to be a collaboration of SPAI's, like maybe more low altitude ISR with like a higher ups, satellite balloon deal where they're
yeah.
going to combo
Well,
off each other, where you have your fast response with SPAI, then maybe the more overarching one with the satellite, and how that might be a system of systems addition. Very interesting idea. I love that.
why would it not? Why would it
Yeah.
not work together, right? Um, the what was I gonna come? Oh, I brought up the idea. I was like, well, hold on now. If you're in a battlefield situation, contested environment, I ask, does this information get streamed back, or do they have to actually get the drone back? Because drone might go out there and be taking pictures and get shot down or something on the way back.
Yep.
So it's actually a sort of a dual control deal. It does get streamed back in real time, just not at the highest level, highest quality level. So it gets streamed back in 1080, but what they really want are 4K pictures. All right,
And
so
that's the SD card.
that's the SD card that comes out of it and goes into the laptop or the larger equipment. The computing, the AI computing on the edge, right at the point where it's most needed, right? And at the same time, this same information can get sent back to build a larger picture for the combatant commanders, right? And it enables the combatant commanders that, colonel level or flag officer level to influence decision making where it's needed most, right? Because they got a real-time picture, a real-time threat assessment that can be depended on and it's not necessarily just hearsay or frantic radio calls or something about a danger that's out there. They got actual real data for where the tank traps are, where the ditches are, where the wires are, where the mines are. So very important work that they're doing. I was very impressed with the outside demonstration. The inside lecture was great as well. It went over lots of details, things I wasn't really aware of either, such as that critical rare earths connection with Safe Pro. We're not going to get those critical rare earths until the threats and the mines are mitigated, taken care of. And there's just so much beyond the military that this technology is going to have a dual use in the civilian world for. I didn't quite finish the thought on the skyscrapers, but from my construction background, I said, I wonder why couldn't this thing inspect buildings for the concrete spalling, right? That salt water gets in, starts rusting out the reinforced metal, which expands and breaks the concrete, weakening the structure. That's why this high-rise apartment complex had to get condemned here in Miami not long ago.
I think bridge inspections too. I think like agriculture, looking for issues with the crop. I mean, wow, the use cases are just infinite, it feels like. And we actually have a couple of videos too that are some examples of their stuff in action. Some of the overhead stuff. I thought we'd maybe play one of those now, talk about it, maybe watch one more, and then finish up with what else you saw at the conference.
Yeah. Go right ahead, man. Let's roll that beautiful footage.
Hey, let's check this one. This one looks very cool. Wow, pretty cinematic there. Gosh, that was louder than the Odyssey. Oh my goodness. My ears are a little. Whoa, I was trying to adjust the volume on that, and I didn't see an option to do so. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I thought I was behind a one of those new Anduril drone jets. But yeah, pretty cool stuff how that's going to work. I mean, just I guess how high above the target they can be, and then zoom in and find like these little needles in haystacks in terms of the stuff they're looking for. So, man, extremely cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. They actually had a question about how high the drone had to be, and it just all depends on the quality of the camera, right? The higher the quality of the camera, the higher the drone can be, and the higher the drone is, the safer the drone is in a contested environment. Yeah, man, there's so much we could go over, JT, but
well, I think the key thing, the key takeaway too is, robots and things are expendable, people are not, and this is going to save a lot of lives, whether it be people who want to go live back in a mined area, soldiers that might step on something, or there's an ambush. I mean, bridges, like we had a bridge collapse in Minnesota, one of the big ones, and they didn't do the inspections, and it just went down. It's like this could help that. So I think there's actually a lot of like humanitarian cases for this technology as well, which is super cool and kind of an added boon when you're investing, to kind of see that, oh, this could actually save some people, and it's kind of cool to be in something like that. So man, SPAI, very, very exciting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And before I go here, just a big shout out to some of the members of the team there. Obviously, Dan Erberg is the CEO. He's put together some really impressive people here. Dr. Jasper Bauer is their chief scientist. Young guy, JT. Looks like can't be much older than you. Um, but
I gotta
really
lock
knows
in
his
then.
stuff. Yeah, man. He just got engaged too. He was talking about some wedding plans after we wrapped it up. I overheard that. Brian Mack, retired Army, is their chief growth officer. Met a fella, Jarrett. I'm so sorry I didn't write down your last name. I have to look through the business cards to get that. Just meeting all these guys, I'm the worst with names sometimes. But Jarrett is he's the COO, right? The Chief Operations Officer, and he's hired. He's got the bona fides, man. Special Forces, West Point grad, got into Special Forces. Didn't spend his time, um, you know, uh, in the quartermaster detail. He's been in like 80 countries, right, all around the
Jarrett
world.
Matthews.
Yeah, Jarrett Matthews. Thank you, JT. I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Um, I won't forget that again, Jarrett, for sure. Chris Todd is the CEO of Drone Responders. Um, another thing that's really special about this, this started out SafePro. They started out trying to build drones, right? And realized that's a hard business to do, especially when you started out, 8 or 10 years ago, trying to build drones in the United States. So they switched over to the software thing, and this software it's platform agnostic, right? They can put them on Red Cat drones, they can put them on Ondas drones, they can put them on Parrot drones. It doesn't matter which drone it is. So the end user can pick their own drone, but put the software. That's what's key. Is the software is where the magic happens in this application, and so that's pretty sporty there because that opens up, it opens up the European market, Indo-Pacific, all of those countries in that market that can recognize that they might want to build drones in their own country, but they're going to put the best software on it. And right now, and I think for the foreseeable future, SafePro's got such a head start, with the millions of photos they've already got in their database that's training their AI models. No one's going to catch up to them at this point. They really are a diamond in the rough, JT.
Yeah, man, I can't get more excited. I mean, just seeing that small market cap with the combination of the tailwind of share buybacks and the use case going up and the revenue just compounding on itself year over year, with it only being around for 2 years, and then with all these use cases coming, and then now with the drone revolution, so you can actually get all of these, all the software from SPAI up and in the skies. I mean, wow. That's might have moved up my list a few in terms of like my favorite stocks that I cover, just because of how good it looks, honestly, from a financial basis in terms of where we're going to be in the next few years. I mean, with all those tailwinds, so very
Yeah,
excited,
and
very
and
excited.
I don't want to leave out Praveen Borker, right? I met him, sat next to him on the bus on the way back from the demonstration. He's the trained scientist, chemical engineering, material science kind of stuff that developed and started SafePro LLC, the ballistics protection equipment, right, for the bomb squad. We're talking aviation ballistics protection, right? That has to be lightweight. Uh, you know, that's important stuff. But right down to the individual soldier, right, with the ballistic plates they wear on their in their chest armor and whatnot. So, um, pretty pretty high tech stuff there that is really under the radar, right? SafePro is already under the radar, and when someone does notice them, they're noticing the software, the 75% margins, threat detection. But the real another real aspect of a sleeper aspect of this company is that ballistic protection equipment that they have, and we got some pictures of that that'll be coming out. But that's nothing to sleep on either with this company.
Yeah, I mean, use case. I mean, you have use cases on use cases, right, for the software, but then you have other lines of business too, and just all of that, wrapped into the bow of the buybacks and the low market cap for me is just full bull. I mean, I definitely
Hmm.
have my like buy targets for the stock, but long term, I mean, it's looking pretty solid. I'm very excited. I feel like DCA's now price values now a dollar or two different. Probably in the long term aren't going to mean that much, right? Because if this keeps up, they 10x their market cap, no dilution. You're looking at a $50 stock, right? So I mean, this is very, very, very
Correct.
exciting
Yeah.
stuff, man. Oh, you went dark. We don't see you on the screen. We heard you. Benny's in that airport. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully, he's not getting grabbed or something. Guess we were talking about drones and stuff in there. See if he comes back. Otherwise, I know we kind of got everything we wanted to talk about now. For you guys that don't know that are watching, all of the B-roll footage from the demo, the tour up to the demo spot, the actual footage of the drones doing their thing, finding the threats, all of the flying, all of that is going to be uploaded to the channel after the fact. We have all of the data and all of that now, all the videos set up. They are going through post-production, and then they're going to be posted to all of our socials and our website. So it's going to be very, very exciting, guys. Very excited to share that with you when that's ready to go out, which will be pretty soon. But then also just some pretty cool background images. We got Benny on there with the 0 Hour Group at the event, got his own badge. He got some SPAI hats. So I think I've collected three of the 7 Infinity Stones in terms of the merch from these spots, which is pretty cool. And we're gonna keep collecting those, and then hopefully getting some extra ones to give out to everyone that watches these streams, as that's why we're here, guys. Otherwise, we do have the 0 Hour Group merch launching pretty soon as well. So if you want a shirt, a hat, want to support the stream, would love if you had that and repped it around. It'd be so cool to walk around and see someone with 0 Hour Group merch. Gonna give Benny one more second here to hop back on. Otherwise, he was. Oh, let's see. I think he's loading back in. Benny, can you hear us? We got to hear what else happened at the event. Oh, there he is. Hello, sir. We are unable to hear you right now if you're talking, but we do see you. We are just touching on everything that. Oh, we hear you now.
How about now, JT? Yeah, sorry,
There we
dude. I had
go.
to. Hey, got me a battery pack yesterday just in case that happened. But yeah. Sorry, new at this, folks. Just trying to make it all happen at once, and I
We
can't think of
thought airport
everything. Can't
security
remember it
grabbed
all,
you.
but yeah. No, I made it through security.
That's
Okay.
good. Good stuff. Yeah, no, we were just going over
Oh,
everything that's going on, with the footage, how that's going through post production now. We'll be launching that later. And then we're talking about how we got 3 of the 7 hats now for those high conviction companies we cover, and more coming. But do you have any, I guess, final thoughts on the demo? Anything you want to share before those videos come out for SAPRO
you
Group?
know, JT, it's the team. Again, right? It's at least for me, and I know for the Safe Pro Group, what matters to us is leadership. All right. I mean, all the other things contribute to it too, as well. You got to have a good product. You got to have good margins. You got to, have a, good fiscal, run the company in a good fiscally sound way and all that. But, the leadership that can see ahead, that can make the partnerships with the right companies. It's as much a commentary on Andas's and Eric Brock's leadership abilities to pick SafePro as it is for SafePro to partner with Ondas.
Yeah.
And they're definitely working with other companies. Like I said, their software is platform agnostic. It can ride on whatever platform that a customer wants it to. The other thing that I gotta mention here before we don't mention it is that they've turned this technology from downward looking photographs to these oblique angles so they can put the same AI threat detection ability in the hands of soldiers on in vehicle mounted situations, right? Whether it's a Bradley fighting vehicle, a Humvee, a go-kart, an unmanned ground vehicle, right? Being able to see the threats and avoid the mines, because a mine will take out a robot drone as easily it will, a Bradley fighting vehicle, right? So to put that vision, that computer vision ability on the actual vehicles that are carrying soldiers into battle is pretty important. They actually showed a demonstration video during this event today at a recent Army test range somewhere, undisclosed location kind of thing. But the Army put out mines, like live mines that were scattered via artillery, right? And and then they ran the vehicles through the predetermined path built by the AI software from SafePro Group. But a couple of the mines, did end up in the middle of the path, but this technology stopped the truck, right? Like took over the truck and stopped it. Now they didn't have any actual real soldiers in this vehicle for this test.
Sure.
But if that had been a real situation, they're driving down the road. The human eye can't see these things or pick these things out. We know how many casualties have happened from IEDs and mines and past conflicts.
That's what I was
But
thinking
to
of.
but to know that you've got a camera on top of this thing that's looking out ahead of you, picking out these dangers, and will override you, stop that truck to say, hey, there's a problem out here, and then show you where the threat is so that you can mitigate it. That's pretty sporty ability, and it definitely puts an advantage in the hands of our military and our allies militaries. And like you said earlier in the broadcast here, it's about protecting the soldiers, right? And making sure that more of them come home than otherwise would without this protection. So, AI is the way of the future. No doubt about it. There's a lot of dangers from the technology, but I can see where this is definitely an area where they're putting it to good use. Good
Yeah, I was
productive
gonna
use.
say. I mean, people are using it to make little AI memes, but then it's like, oh, you have them using it now in this case to detect some
Yeah.
mine so someone doesn't get killed. It's like, wow. This the the scope of what AI is used for in society is crazy, but it's pretty cool when you see it utilized like this. So yeah, man. I mean, very exciting stuff. Wow. I didn't think I could be any more bullish on SPAI, but Safe Pro Group, man, I'm excited. I'm excited as a
Yeah.
shareholder.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, hey, I think they're getting ready to start boarding my plane here, or about to get ready on it. So
Wheels
I
up.
better get ready to sign off on this. We definitely got some more content coming. We got some video from the outside demonstration on this. The inside, it was notes only. They wouldn't let me take any pictures or take any video from inside, understandably so. So we abided by that, but I got plenty of good notes. We're going to put together some written content, and then I've got some interview questions that we got some answers to that we're going to share that as well. And the most exciting thing, JT, is we're invited back. Save Pro, Save Pro likes 0 Hour Group, and 0 Hour Group likes Save Pro. I can tell you that.
Seems to be an ongoing trend, man, with all these companies. I mean, we like them, and we showing them the proper respect with covering them when these companies deserve it, even though they're very under the radar. I mean, there's mutual respect there, and we're going to keep, bringing these guys on, and hopefully they'll bring us on and continue to do so. So yeah, it's very, very exciting.
Yeah. There's some more things being planned with Safe Pro Group. We're going to get some invites, I think, to some other demonstrations like this, maybe some, live fire type deals where they're actually showing their stuff to the military, different branches, different use cases. But, the Air Force has already picked up on this from the Army on the threat detection, being able to use this software to pick up threats around airfields. Jarrett brought up that if there's any conflict in the Indo-Pacific area, right, they're going to be island hopping again. Hey, there's another fella I need to give a shout out to. Met him. He's sort of the elder senior statesman for Safe Pro Group. His name is Fred Polk, right? He's the one that actually helped SafePro get their bona fides in Ukraine, right? He's a West Point grad from way back. Ended up spending a career in the Army. Ended up teaching at West Point. Was working for humanitarian organizations in Ukraine at the start of the war. So big shout out to Fred. He taught me a lot in a very short period of time. It was a pleasure and an honor to meet him and get to talk with him. I can't wait to share some of his insights. We just don't have the time to go into everything today, right now at this point in time. But there's a lot more coming on SafePro. Folks ought to pay attention to SafePro.
Oh, you froze up there a bit. Yeah, I mean they got to pay attention to Safe Pro Group. It's gonna be a big name here soon. Right now, we got that micro cap status, but everything they're doing seems right. The CEO is also looking out for the shareholders. Man, I am excited for Safe Pro Group.
Right on, man. All right. Well, hey,
Alrighty.
I got to get going. This plane starts boarding in 9 minutes and 5 seconds.
Absolutely. Well, it's wheels up, and investors in Safe Pro Group and fans of the 0 Hour Group show, as well as Hidden Gems Research, you guys can expect some Safe Pro Group live footage or recorded footage from the live event, probably towards the end of this week. And yeah, watch out for that. Get excited. SPAI's got a bright future, man. So Benny, get home safe. We got a lot of stuff to get working on and keep working on, and big events coming, guys, very, very soon that we'll be attending that you can get nowhere else, right? So appreciate all y'all coming out. Appreciate Benny coming to us live from Miami, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Right on. See everybody later.
Guys. Thank you.